There is a Lancaster County garden that has not had a fungicide application in 32 years. Early blight, powdery mildew, downy mildew. The disease pressure in Pennsylvania summers is real and consistent. The family manages all of it with a watering can and a bottle of generic aspirin that costs $1 for 100 tablets. I watched the farmer's wife dissolve 1 tablet in a gallon of water on a Wednesday morning. She stirred it until it dissolved. She watered every tomato and pepper plant at the base. She finished in 8 minutes. She has been doing it every 2 weeks through the growing season since her mother showed her how. I asked her what it does. She said it keeps the plants from getting sick. It makes them ready for what is coming before it arrives. That description is more scientifically accurate than anything printed on any commercial plant care product label. In 1979, a plant pathologist named Ilya Raskin identified salicylic acid as the compound responsible for systemic acquired resistance. When a plant is attacked by a pathogen, it produces salicylic acid internally and distributes it through its vascular system. The salicylic acid triggers a cascade of defensive responses, activating genes that produce proteins, thickening cell walls, and preparing the plant's defenses. The plant that has experienced a pathogen attack becomes more resistant to the next attack. Raskin's work demonstrated that applying salicylic acid externally could activate the same systemic acquired resistance cascade. The plant behaves as if it has already been exposed to a pathogen and survived. Its defenses are primed and ready. Aspirin is acetyl salicylic acid. When dissolved in water, it hydrolyzes to salicylic acid within the plant's cellular environment. 1 tablet in a gallon of water produces a concentration sufficient to activate resistance in most vegetable and fruit crop species. The research was published and validated. It has been referenced in plant biology textbooks since 1985. It has never appeared in mainstream gardening guidance funded or influenced by the commercial plant care product industry. Salicylic acid activates plant immunity through a specific molecular pathway. When salicylic acid enters the plant cell, it binds to a receptor protein called NPR1, non-expressor of PR genes 1. This binding triggers NPR1 to move from the cell cytoplasm to the cell nucleus, where it activates transcription factors. These switch on the genes encoding pathogenesis-related proteins like chitinases that break down fungal cell walls. Glucanases degrade fungal structural compounds, and protease inhibitors interfere with the digestive enzymes pathogens use to penetrate plant tissue. The result is a plant that is actively producing its own antifungal and antibacterial compounds, rather than relying on chemicals. The commercial fungicide kills the pathogen externally. The salicylic acid activates the plant's own cellular defenses internally. These are fundamentally different approaches with different implications for long-term health and the pathogen's ability to develop resistance. Commercial fungicides work by targeting specific biochemical processes like sterile biosynthesis inhibitors or cell membrane disruptors. Each of these targets can be modified by the fungal organism through mutation, without compromising the fungus's overall viability. Fungicide resistance is a documented and growing problem in commercial agriculture and home gardening alike. The strobilurin fungicides that dominated the market in the 1990s now face resistance in multiple early blight strains. Salicylic acid does not create resistance because it is not targeting the pathogen. It is activating the host plant's defenses. The pathogen has no genetic pathway to resistance against a plant that has thickened cell walls and active proteins. To overcome them, the pathogen would need to simultaneously evolve to resist multiple classes of antimicrobial compounds. This would require mutations in multiple independent pathways, which is effectively impossible on agricultural timescales. Premium organic gardening products list salicylate combinations and retail for $15 to $25 for a small bottle. The premium packaging delivers the same molecular signal to the plant that the $0.01 aspirin tablet delivers. The plant does not read labels. The complete aspirin protocol for a standard home garden covers 4 distinct applications, each serving a different purpose for plant health. First, seed soaking before planting. Dissolve 1 aspirin tablet in 1 gallon of water. Soak seeds in this solution for 8 hours before planting. Research documented a 30% improvement in germination rates for seeds soaked in salicylic acid, especially those facing heat or cold stress. This activates stress response pathways early, allowing seeds to allocate more resources to growth rather than fighting challenging soil conditions. This is most valuable for seeds in suboptimal conditions like early spring cold, midsummer heat, or for older seeds with reduced vigor. Second, transplant shock prevention. Mix 1 aspirin per gallon in your watering can for the first watering immediately after transplanting. Watering at the base activates defenses before the plant manages root disturbance and environmental stress, resulting in significantly less wilting. Third, foliar spray for disease prevention. Dissolve 1 aspirin tablet in 1 gallon of water and spray directly on all leaf surfaces. Apply every 2 weeks through the growing season. This maintains systemic acquired resistance, reducing the probability of disease establishment. Avoid direct afternoon sun to prevent sun scald. Apply in early morning or evening when foliage is in the shade. Fourth, disease outbreak response. If symptoms like blight or mildew appear, increase application frequency to every 5 to 7 days. Use a higher concentration of 1 aspirin per quart of water. Remove affected leaves before spraying to reduce the pathogen load. While it won't cure infected tissue, it activates defenses in uninfected portions to slow the spread. Now let's look at the top 5 crops. Tomatoes and peppers show the most dramatic improvement in resistance against blight and bacterial spots. Strawberries, roses, and cucumbers also benefit greatly, showing reduced mold and mildew when the protocol is followed correctly. Implement these simple aspirin steps for a more resilient and productive home garden this season.